Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. I want to begin with numbers numerically where India stands with its fight with COVID-19 and the states that are recording the highest import just in terms of numbers. Now, this was data collated just about 90,535. Till now, India cumulatively has registered 5,394 deaths. Maharashtra continues to record the largest import of positive numbers, which is pretty much 33% of the data which I showed you in India, recording 67,655 positive cases and 2,286 deaths. Tamil Nadu has seen a massive spike today and has now climbed to 22,333 positive cases with 173 deaths. Delhi right now is registering 19,844 COVID positive cases with 473 deaths. Now, like I said, this is where India stands numerically, at least with its fight against COVID-19. We are seeing a huge import, a huge rise of numbers at the time where India is now opening out. We're going to continue to get you that, but I want to quickly now shift focus to our top story this evening. Huge controversy in Karnataka on the incumbent BJP government's plan to construct a 120 feet Vivekananda statue in Bengaluru. Now, the Congress, JDS, has made it highly political. They say, is this the timing for it all? We're in the midst of a pandemic and all you can think is constructing a statue. It's found quite a bit of relevance with the citizens as well, saying the same thing. Here's the full report.
A political storm brews in Karnataka in a season of discontent. The season of a virus weighing down with human tragedy and a crippled economy. The ruling BJP has come up with a master plan to build a 120-foot glorious statue of Swami Vivekananda on a 3-acre plot in Bengaluru itself within a time span of 3 years.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಗೃಹ ಮಂಡಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 30,000 ಒಂದು ಟೌನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಟೌನ್ಶಿಪ್ಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ 37,000 ಅರ್ಜಿಗಳು ಬಂದಿವೆ. ಬಂದಂಥ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತವೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿನಿಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು 3 ವರ್ಷದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
While the cost of the statue is yet to be ascertained, in a pandemic where its human and economic cost has been cascading, questions are now being raised on the insensitive timing of it all, an emotive issue which is now also political.
No doubt it is their personal agenda, but this is not the time for any development of such issues. First, let they sort out the problems. Whoever the farmers have been under a very big losses. No assessment has been made. No assessment has been made of the MSME and no other for this small businessman.
The Congress has been quick to underline the ill-timed plan. However, earlier DK Shivakumar helped to build a 100-foot statue of Jesus Christ in his constituency in Kanakapura, which then was opposed by the ruling BJP government.
The entire system is an eyewash, and this is the style of functioning of this government.
Even the JDS in the state wondered why the government would want to spend on a statue when that same money can be utilized to help people suffering in the pandemic.
The government of the day is absolutely trying to lure people for electoral purposes. The better way of knowing Vivekananda is implementing his studies. Only constructing statues at the cost of public money is the only motive of this government.
The government has already secured 700 acres and a further 1,200 acres will be bought. The plan is to build the statue on a 3-acre plot with fountains, a garden, and since it will be situated next to a waterfall and on the way to the Bannerghatta National Park, the plan is to make it a big tourist attraction like the Sardar Patel statue in Gujarat. Grand plans are in order to convert the 3 acres into a big tourist attraction, but most today question the grandioseness of the plan when one views it in the backdrop of the human suffering in the pandemic.
Farmers are in distress. The pandemic is taking its own toll. The economy is yet to open up. The message being sent out by the government is that a statue is more important even while people suffer. With video journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
All right, so we leave it for Karnataka's citizens to decide whether they would want a statue of Swami Vivekananda. Would they want it right now when they're in the midst of a pandemic? But it is political as well. Joining me right now is KPCC President, Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee President, DK Shivakumar. Appreciate you joining me, sir. Now, BJP has said, Mr. Shivakumar, that the money is not the citizens' money. They are going to provide the money. What's the problem? Why do you call it misplaced priorities? He's an icon. Shouldn't he be honored?
See, this government doesn't have any vision. They are trying to take only things on emotionally, either the national or the state. No proper planning has been done. This is not the time. Let they bring out in a statue. We also don't have any difference of opinion on bringing Vivekananda statue, but this is not the time. We have a lot of work here to save the people of the state, save the migrants, the development of the state. First, let us concentrate on this. Vivekananda is our leader, no doubt in it. He is our religious leader, he is our youth leader. He has given us a lot of messages, we respect him. But as far as BJP, they are not worried about it. No, none of this section of the society has been still helped. Either the farmer have not been taken care, the migrants have not been taken care. Any section of the society, either the MSCs or any trader, none of them has been taken care still yet. Not even a single rupee, whichever they have been announced, either in the national package or in the state package, has reached any one of them. But still they wanted to divert the situation and make it a political issue.
Mr. Shivakumar, if I am to understand, what you're saying is that you do not have a problem with the statue. You think it's good to honor the icon Swami Vivekananda, but you say the timing is bad because we are in the midst of a pandemic. Is that what you're saying?
See, the timing, right now, the timing itself is wrong. Timing itself is wrong. First thinking, see, what is the need of the hour? People are hungry. You have to give them something when you need something for the stomach right now. You should give them medicine at the appropriate. What is the use of discussing things later? When an opportunity is there to serve them, the entire country, we have been locked down, people are on the streets, none of them have any income. The GDP has gone down, unemployment problem has gone down, is in a very peak. What is the use of discussing now on this type of agenda? You could see the priority. The government doesn't have any proper priority in this.
All right, so you're calling it misplaced priority. Timing is wrong, but I just want to remind you, Mr. Shivakumar, because if you remember, you yourself helped in your own constituency build a temple of Christ for the people because they wanted it. It was a 100-foot temple.
No. I doesn't wanted to build any Christ statue or anything. That is the Christ, their local community, they were doing it earlier. That is their own 4 years, 5 years program. One foot something, they had their own program. It is not my program. As a constituency local leader, it is my duty to help them. This is not the time. Now we are not in any urgent mood. We doesn't want to take things in an emotional way. We doesn't want. Our priority is first to save the people's life now.
Okay, so misplaced priority, ill timing is what ill-timed is what DK Shivakumar has to say. Appreciate you joining, sir. Thank you for taking out the time. I want to just carry forward the debate. Whether it's ill-timed, it's misplaced in terms of prioritizing for the BJP in Karnataka because you're in the midst of a pandemic. Should you be focusing more in relief? Should you be looking at the farmer distress where Karnataka is in question? I want to bring in right now S. Prakash, spokesperson, Karnataka BJP, Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson, Congress, and Brinda Dige, social activist. Mr. Prakash, if you can hear me, would you, sir, take away yourself from the BJP as a citizen of Karnataka? Would you be comfortable if I was to tell you that your government is actually building a 120-foot temple in the next 3 years when you're in the midst of a pandemic, acute human suffering? You've seen the migrant tragedy around you. It's still ensuing. The import of numbers is only but rising.
No, there's an unnecessary controversy is being raised against a non-issue. See, Surya City fourth stage is being developed by the Karnataka Housing Board Development. They are giving away 30,000 sites in that area. The government has taken 700 acres of land on 50-50 sharing basis. They are coming up with a big township. As an attraction for the township, this statue is being proposed to be erected there. This is still on the DPR stage. The statue is not being erected now or any money spent on it. Unnecessarily linking it to the coronavirus and making a big issue out of it is unwarranted. Normally, this congressman, they always hate Hindu icons. They don't want Savarkar. They don't want Vivekananda. They brand Hindus as saccharine terrorists. And the same agenda is continued. Mr. Shivakumar has no objection to put up a 100 feet Jesus Christ statue in his constituency. He stands by them. But when BJP proposes a Vivekananda statue after 3 years, now the pandemic is linked to it. How is it possible? Mr. Somanna is a housing minister in Karnataka. He's a very senior most minister and a responsible minister. To see him as an irresponsible man is very unfortunate.
Okay.
He knows his responsibilities.
Okay.
He knows his priorities. He is
All
not
right.
the person who is going to spend.
Okay, Mr. Prakash, you know, till now the Congress has been saying, and I'm quoting them because I did ask that question to Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, that they don't have a problem with the statue, it's the timing. But you have also given it a communal angle where you have said that the Congress has always had problem with Hindu icons. They had a problem with the bridge which was constructed in Bengaluru on Veer Savarkar, and now they have a problem with this. So you have given it a communal angle. I
have not given the communal angle. That is the stand of the Congress party.
No, the Congress. Okay, let's get the stand of the Congress party. But I did ask that question to Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. I want to bring in Aishwarya Mahadev in it right now. Aishwarya Mahadev, what's the problem? Because you have somebody as revered as Swami Vivekananda. He's a Hindu icon as per Mr. Prakash, and you are not in favor of Hindu icons. You're all right to construct 100-foot statues of the Christ, but not of any Hindu icons. You're doing this in that.
You know, first and foremost, I think a few clarifications are essential. I believe Swami Vivekananda is an icon for all of India and also globally. We have absolutely no issue with the statue being there. And the communal angle, neither my president D.K. Shivakumarji or anybody else has put a communal angle to it. But when the BJP has nothing else to say, they make it a Hindu, Muslim, black or white debate all the time, right? Because they have nothing else to say to you. And you know, oh, they had an issue with the Hindu icon Savarkar. Of course, we have an issue with a man like Savarkar for what he was accused of. But moving on, we don't want to get into that debate. Preeti, it's a very simple argument, right? And when they talk about the Christian idol and whatnot, the first clarification is that was a privately built entity. The local MLA who was D.K. Shivakumar happens to have funded it. Here, if there is 3 years to go for the statue to come out, why is it that Mr. Somanna has decided to come and speak about it now? Why is it that he's bringing in this angle about, oh, we are going to build this now? Because it's a diversionary tactic. Build whatever you want, but do not abdicate your responsibility to the people during this pandemic. Preeti, the CM, out of what has been lakhs of crores of loss in Karnataka, basically announced a package of 1,610 crores only, out of which the beneficiaries have barely received anything. And then you have the housing board minister going and basically talking about these magnanimous plans. And you know, doesn't it basically show you the incongruity and how detached the government is from reality, Preeti? Please ask them to answer that. Tell us what they've done for the people, and then we'll talk about statues. We'll support the statue also if you support the people now who are dying on the roads because of your ill-planned policies.
All right, Aishwarya, stay with me. Mr. Prakash, I'd like to come to you for a rebuttal, but I want to bring in Brinda Adige as well. Brinda Adige, as a citizen of Karnataka, are you comfortable being told today that 120-foot statue of no matter how revered Swami Vivekananda as an icon was to India is going to be built over the course of the next 3 years?
Not at all. not only me, I'm sure a very large majority, if not all of Karnataka, you ask the citizens and nobody is going to support. We don't even support the 100-foot statue of Jesus Christ, nor this one. How does it help citizens? How is it that you elected representatives decide on your own to do whatever you want without any public consultation? How is it that you choose that you will make that a tourist spot when you're not able to attend to the citizens and our plight just now? Look at the roads, look at the potholes, look at water. Are we getting all of it? Look at sewage, look at garbage. You do not want to take care of all this, but you want to put up a statue. Can you imagine the disaster that will happen when you choose to put up a fountain for tourists to come there? Why you don't want to have the citizens of this city live in peace? You want tourists now to come there. What about water? You want to have fountain over there, but we don't have drinking water. Look at the indiscriminate constructions that have happened in our city and how we are suffering today. Why is it that you elected representatives think that you are there to decide for me? Are these not supposed to be publicly consulted and only then you go ahead with something like this? Just now, you have not attended to the public, you have not attended to the citizens, and certainly not to the migrant workers and laborers.
Okay.
For the next 3 years, you need to attend just to them and the farmers.
All right, okay. I want to come back to you, Mr. Prakash, right now. Now, let's say that there is no problem with putting together, erecting a statue of Swami Vivekananda. Wasn't it ill time to make that announcement right now? We are still in the midst of a pandemic. The collateral of this pandemic has been extremely damaging. You've had an economy which is completely crippling. Was this ill timed? Maybe you should have made this announcement in a few months from now when you were in control, when we had the means.
No, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar wanted to take over as the president of the party in a huge function in the coming week. But it was postponed because of the government regulations. Why did he announce when the pandemic is there? Was there any necessity to announce his takeover in such a big, grand manner? I can't question that. That is his party decision. A government here is distributing 30,000 sites to the people of Bangalore and surrounding area, and they are building a township there. If a statue comes up, why should others bother about it? And does it mean to say when BDA creates some sites and layouts, these people expect them to be consulted? Only then the sites has to be foreign? What logic is this? And it is being done at the near Anekal. It is 40 kilometers from Bangalore. How is this is connected with the civic activities, Bangalore city problems? See, you cannot link everything to the civic problems, pandemic. The statue erection has not started. It is only on paper. DPR is to be made. He has made an announcement. He is the Minister for Housing Board. He is coming up with 30,000 sites. He wants to sell that. It gives a big impetus to the real estate.
Okay.
What is the problem with the...
All right, so Mr. Prakash,
I don't understand.
Okay, Mr. Prakash, this has been seen by, of course, politically, of course, but even socially. You've had Brinda Adiga, the social activist, say it. It's been seen as a possible Marie Antoinette moment for the BJP in Karnataka. But having said that, Aishwarya Mahadev, what's wrong with it? Let's build the same argument which was on what the statue of Sardar that has been built in Gujarat. It's generated an entire economy around it, and maybe this could do the same.
I think the first thing we need to highlight is what happened to the statue of Sardar Patel a few months after, whether we've seen the leaky images of the poor man's statue or not. Have you seen the ecological damage around there is something that you have to see also around the dams. And the same Anekal area is an ecologically sensitive area also. And you realize this mass corporatization shows you the BJP's priority. Let's look at it simply. V. Somana, the minister, is announcing things for the construction lobby and the builders lobby, and 3 years from now, how many ever 1,000 sites you want to build, well and good, you can sell them all, you can name them after your leaders. We're saying your priority right now needs to be to cater to the people impoverished and marginalized on the streets, sir. Your packages are insufficient. The center seems to not care about Karnataka at all because we have a massive shortfall. We also have to borrow more than usual. We have a GST pending that the centre hasn't given. The 15th Finance Commission has roughshod us and all other southern states. And what Mr. V. Somana and the BJP want to talk about is, oh, we will build a huge statue. We're saying,
Aishwarya, stay with me. I want to go back, and Brinda, I'll come back to you. So, bear with me for about a minute. I want to ask that question to Mr. Prakash. Mr. Prakash, we have the details right now of this statue. Yes, you are saying, and I want to reiterate, it's not a statue which is going to be built in a year's time, that it's being built as we speak. It's a 3-year plan. Only an announcement was made today, as what Mr. Prakash said. But Mr. Prakash, we have... Yes, so we have the blueprint, which seems to suggest it's going to be a 120-foot statue. It's going to be in 3 acre and... all the details with it. Tell me, sir, what is the plan of the government to actually invigorate the MSME sector, the industries? What is the Karnataka government going to do in terms of agriculture? What is the package that is being offered right now to actually tide over the crippling economy effect of the pandemic? Do we have those figures to give?
Madam, you are changing the goalpost. Here we are discussing about the distribution of sites to the citizens of Bangalore city. In the last 25 years, Congress party could not distribute more than 3 lakh sites to the Bangaloreans and those who do not have homes. And the party, my party...
We just go one by one. Mr. Prakash, one second. Aishwarya, let's go.
What is the problem of Congress
Mr.
party?
Prakash,
Do they expect
Mr. Prakash, I'll tell you why. Okay, sir.
Homeless?
Sir, if you allow me, I'll tell you why.
You say in the rented places
Mr.
or in
Prakash.
slums?
Sir, allow me.
The agenda of the Congress party?
No, sir, allow me.
In what way is it?
Sir, I'm giving you this opportunity.
Housing board.
Okay,
See,
Mr.
Madam,
Prakash,
Housing board.
Sir, listen to me. Sir, you have said that I am changing the goalpost, but my question is very clear. I'm giving you that opportunity to explain to a citizen in Karnataka today on why all the other issues that say the Congress is politicizing here are relevant. So would you like to tell them what is the package that you're offering to MSMEs? What is the package that is being offered in terms of the agriculture sector to tide over what we are seeing, especially in the times of pandemic? I just want you to give those figures out so the citizens of your state know very well that you're taking care of them as well while making these announcements.
No, I will tell you. This is about the housing board project we have been talking about. With regards to this package, 2,000 crore rupees package has announced for various sections of the society by the Chief Minister, and the money has started distributing to those accounts. And with regards to the MSME and industry, central government itself has announced a huge package of 20 lakh crore, and Karnataka is also one of the beneficiaries in it. And over and above, Karnataka government is also extending all possible help to the industries which need assistance from the government. My point is Congress party opposed to allotting sites, homes to the poor and Bangaloreans? If that is the agenda, let her clarify. Don't distribute sites, don't give them home, let them languish in wherever they are, let them be homeless. What kind of an agenda this party has got?
Okay.
Only opposing negativity, opposing the Hindu icons. Is this the agenda this Congress party is
Okay, I want to take final comments. Right. Okay, Aishwarya?
You know, Preeti, when Mr. Prakash has anything out of syllabus, the first thing he does is he starts saying, oh, we're communal, we hate the Hindus and whatnot. Let me tell you one thing very, very simply. It is not a 2,000 crore package. Stop lying. It's a 1,600 crore package. 400 crores is a lot.
Madam, further announcement was made. You are not aware. What can you do?
Can we go one by one? Aishwarya, yes. Sir, you had your say. Let her. Sir, give her that space to rebut. Come on, give her that space to rebut.
Announcement was made.
Okay, can we just get Aishwarya? Can I just get Aishwarya?
Try to confuse, but see, the very simple thing is your 20 lakh crore package is a loan mela, where fiscal stimulus is not even 2 lakh crores. But the fact of the matter is, you know why we weren't auctioning sites or creating these layouts? These layouts are not for the poor, because the poor have no money to even buy food right now, and they won't in the next 3 years unless you...
Okay, this is going to get into a political... Brinda, I want to give you the last word, and I have only 20 seconds. As a citizen, Brinda, as a citizen of Karnataka, right now, what would you think should be priority? And I just want to end with that, Brinda, 20 seconds.
The government's immediate priority should be employment, whatever the people have lost, especially the poor, daily wage, migrant laborers, domestic workers, and see that they get their basic amenities. Making a tourist spot is not at all a priority. Your job is to see that all of us get our health benefits, because we know that this is not happening over here. All the people who do not have jobs, we are running pillar to post trying to even get basic grocery dry ration, and that is the job of the government for the next 3 years.
All
not
right,
the
appreciate.
statue.
Okay, I need to wrap the show, and we leave it for our citizens to decide on what is priority and what possibly can wait to execute later, not to put it away, but possibly execute later. Thank you for joining us on this debate. But I do, before I end to the point this evening, I want to leave you with these visuals. We leave you with these visuals of the protest following George Floyd's death in America. Thank you for watching, but do look at these visuals. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.